Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Resource Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Just reading an article very disturbing, and it seems to be the practice of liberals across this nation, especially in positions of authority. And it is very disturbing the direction they are taking this. And I'll give you a couple examples. Number one, when this administration was put into power, one of the things they changed was the curriculum in FEMA about how aid is distributed to communities during the time of natural disaster. I did a video on that, and it specifically says in the new rules and curriculum that FEMA would distribute funds, building supplies, materials, whatever it needs, to the communities of need first, based on race, religion, ethnicity, and as well as economics. Now, Kamala Harris just said that with the hurricane victims in Florida, and outrage has followed her around this country, and the Biden administration is attempting to walk it back, give an explanation of what she really meant, as well as the FEMA director, Criswell, who said, no, everybody will get help. We're not basing it on gender or race or sexuality or anything else. That's a lie. It's right in their bylaws. If you are economically devastated or below the standard, you get the aid first. If you are a gay, lesbian, XYZ, whatever community, you get aid first. If you are a minority community, you get first. If you are an average white working person or above economically, you get it last. That is in their bylaws that they changed under FEMA. So when they're saying, no, that's really not going to happen, Kamala Harris was actually telling the truth. Yes, it is going to happen, and we're going to see. Now, it's up to the public to say, listen, you don't discriminate against who needs help. You go out there and you tell that family who just lost everything, and I don't care what race, color, creed you are, you tell that family, well, here's your WD-40s and saying, this is how much you made. We're going to put you down at the bottom of the list because you made too much, or because you're not gay or bisexual or transgender. You are at the bottom of the list because you are not black or brown or Hispanic or Asian. You get put down at the bottom of the list. I dare any of these people to say that to the community that's wiped out and devastated in Fort Myers. I don't look to, say, hey, do you need any help? Oh, wait a minute. You're not on the list of first in need. When I ask somebody to need help, I don't look at skin color or sexuality or anything else. Hey, you need a jump start? Let me help you. You need a lift? Let me help you. I don't do that. But this federal government, these liberals are the first ones that notice that. They are the first ones to call you out on it. They are the first ones to say, do as I say, not as I do. Kamala Harris was telling the truth. And it's so outrageous and so sickening that people are standing up. But that's not the worst of it. In Wisconsin, the Department of Public Instruction, I have notes, instructed white employees to wear white wristbands to remind them of their white privilege. Now, this is the government telling their employees, white only, that you have to wear white wristbands to be reminded of your skin color, to be reminded of your history, to remind them of the white privilege. Also, we're instructed to find a person of color to help them be held accountable, meaning the white person has to go up to a black person and say, hey, I need you to hold me accountable for being white and for whatever you think I'm privileged in doing. You have to throw that in my face and remind me that I'm lower than dirt. So they had to find a person of color to be held accountable for their white privilege and make atonements on a daily basis, saying, hey, I apologize for being white. I can't help it. I was born this way, but I regret being born white. I should have been, born some other color. Let me inject dye into my skin so I can change it and I don't have to go through this nonsense. There was also this curriculum was also introduced into the Wisconsin public schools and was so soundly rejected by the parents and outraged, it was removed immediately. Who did this? The governor of Wisconsin, Tony Evers. Since this outrage occurred, and since it was exposed, it has been taken down off their website and said it doesn't represent the true value of what it is. No, folks, what it actually is, it was exposed for the racist these liberals are. Kamala Harris, FEMA administrator, Joe Biden administration, Tony Evers and his administration, the liberals in Wisconsin. They were exposed for the racists that they are and the outrage that follows until, of course, after the election. And then we'll see how it shakes out. But because it was exposed, we got to cover this up. That really didn't happen. That isn't who we really are. Yes, it really is who you are. The Jews in Nazi Germany were forced to wear yellow stars on their clothing to signify who they were, and had to take off their hats and apologize for being Jewish and for any wrongs that were perceived by the German people, the Nazis specifically, the SS, the brown shirts, and apologize for whatever wrong the German people perceived that to blame on the Jews. How is this any different? How is this any different? These people need to be removed from office. These people need to be called out immediately. These people need to be fired and held accountable, whether it's in your schools or in your workplace. Anybody that is asked or made to wear a yellow star, a wristband signifying their race or color, needs to be fired immediately and called out. The only reason it was removed from the department in Wisconsin was, I am positive there were lawsuits threatening racial discrimination and embarrassment or whatever else you want to put in there. These people say, do as I say, not as I do. That's who they are. That's who's running this country right now. You guys got to wake up. You got to start calling these people out. You got to call them for what they are. Bigots and racist and fascist. If you know anybody in Wisconsin, you tell them, get the hell out, Tony Evers, as well as your bureaucrats in there that try to force us down, the Wisconsin people. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Greg out.